When he reaches out to you, it's natural to feel a rush of emotions, excitement, relief, even hope. But here's the thing: how you handle that moment sets the tone for everything that follows. Overreacting with excitement, showering him with an overflow of emotions, or jumping straight into the idea that everything is perfect again can create a dynamic that may backfire. It's not about playing games or being cold. It's about respecting yourself enough to remain composed. Think about it: when you react too eagerly, it can sometimes give off the impression that his presence in your life defines your happiness. And while it's okay to feel joy, it's important to convey that you are grounded in your own sense of self. A balanced response signals emotional maturity and confidence. It says, I'm glad to hear from you, but I'm still centered in my life. With or without you, that's an energy people are naturally drawn to. Take a moment to pause before replying. Let yourself feel those emotions without immediately expressing them. When you respond thoughtfully and with poise, you create an air of intrigue. He'll notice your calm confidence, and it'll make him wonder what's changed about you. Why? Because you're showing that you are whole and happy on your own. This doesn't mean you should suppress your feelings or pretend not to care. You can still express kindness, warmth, and openness, just in a way that reflects your inner stability. Maybe you say, it's good to hear from you. Or simply respond in a way that acknowledges effort without overinvesting right away. By maintaining this balance, you also give him space to reveal his intentions. When you stay composed, he has room to step up, to pursue, and to clarify why he's reaching out. Rushing into an emotional response can cloud the opportunity for genuine understanding. So the next time he contacts you, remember your response is a reflection of your inner strength and self-respect. Stay grounded, stay composed, and watch how the dynamics begin to shift. When he contacts you, there's a natural instinct to want to fill the silence, to over-explain where you've been, what you've been doing, or even why things may have changed. But here's the truth: less is more. When you explain too much or offer excessive details, you lose the air of mystery that keeps him curious and engaged. I think about it: mystery isn't about playing hard to get or creating confusion. It's about valuing your own privacy and allowing him to wonder about the parts of your life he doesn't already know. When you reveal everything too quickly, it can take away the sense of discovery that deepens interest. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. A little curiosity sparks a desire to learn more, to get closer, and to truly connect. Instead of sharing everything at once, focus on giving thoughtful, intentional responses. If he asks what you've been up to, it's okay to give a brief but intriguing answer. I've been focusing on some exciting new goals, or life's been full of great changes lately. That is enough to spark his curiosity without laying out every detail. The key here isn't to withhold as a tactic, it's to reserve parts of your life for yourself. This shows that you have a rich, fulfilling life that doesn't revolve around his attention. When he sees that you're thriving on your own, it encourages him to step into your world with intention rather than feeling like he already has access to all of you. At the same time, this approach allows the conversation to flow naturally. It invites him to ask questions and dig deeper, which creates a more engaging dynamic. When he's genuinely curious about you, it's a sign that he values what you bring to the table and wants to be a part of your life in a meaningful way. By holding on to your sense of mystery, you maintain your power and your presence. You remind him that you're a multidimensional person with layers worth exploring. And in doing so, you create a space where real connection can grow, one that's built on mutual respect and intrigue. When a man reaches out, it's tempting to immediately respond in a way that seeks to please him or match his expectations. But here's a vital truth: when you lose yourself in the process of connection, you risk compromising your own value and the very dynamic that drew him to you in the first place. Relationships thrive when both individuals bring their authentic selves to the table. Think about this: the strength of any connection depends on mutual respect. That respect begins with how you show up for yourself. If you adapt too much to his preferences, his schedule, or his desires, it sends a subtle signal that you're willing to compromise your own needs for his attention. While this might seem like the right thing to do in the moment, over time it diminishes your individuality, the very thing that makes you irreplaceable. Instead, embrace the power of staying rooted in your truth. When he contacts you, pause and reflect before you respond. Are you agreeing to something that aligns with your values and priorities, or are you saying yes out of fear of losing him? True connection grows when there's a balance, when you both feel seen and heard, not just one person bending to meet the other's expectations. This doesn't mean you need to be distant or unresponsive. It's about showing that your time and energy are precious and you're willing to share them only in ways that feel right for you. For example, if he suggests meeting up and the timing doesn't work, communicate that with confidence. You might say, I'd love to, but this time doesn't work for me. Let's plan something soon. This simple response communicates two powerful things: you're interested, but you also prioritize your own commitments. When you maintain this balance, you create a dynamic where he sees you as someone who respects herself and expects the same in return. This inspires him to rise to the occasion, to show up with intention and effort. It's not about playing games, it's about being intentional with your energy and clear about your standards. Staying true to yourself ensures that the connection you build is authentic and sustainable. It sets the tone for mutual respect and creates space for the kind of relationship where both of you can thrive without losing what makes you unique. That's how you create a bond that's not only lasting, but deeply fulfilling. When he reaches out to you, there's a powerful opportunity to shape how the interaction unfolds and ultimately how he perceives you. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is to become too available too quickly. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about understanding the value of pacing. The way you respond sets the tone for the kind of dynamic you will share moving forward. Men are naturally drawn to mystery and intrigue. When you immediately drop everything for him, it can unintentionally send the message that your world revolves around him. While this might seem like a demonstration of affection, it can erode his perception of your independence and individuality, qualities that are deeply attractive. When you're overly accessible, the connection can lose its sense of discovery and excitement, two vital components of building a lasting bond. So, what does pacing look like in practice? It means taking a moment to consider your response instead of reacting immediately. If he texts, resist the urge to reply within seconds unless it feels completely natural and unforced. If he calls, it's okay to let it ring and call back when you genuinely have the time and focus to engage. These small pauses aren't about manipulation, they're about creating space. Space allows both of you to reflect and appreciate the effort being made. Pacing also applies to the depth of your conversations. When you share everything about yourself too quickly, it can overwhelm the interaction. Keep in mind that relationships are built over time. Sharing pieces of your life, your interests, and your dreams gradually gives them the chance to truly absorb who you are. It keeps the connection fresh and layered, ensuring there's always more to discover about each other. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It's about being intentional with your energy. For example, if he invites you out on short notice and you already have plans, honor those commitments. Politely let him know you're busy and suggest an alternative time. This subtly communicates that your life is full and rich, and while you're interested, you're not willing to compromise your own priorities. When you approach interactions with this sense of balance, it keeps him engaged and invested. He begins to see you as someone with depth, someone whose time and attention are valuable. And that's not something he'll take lightly. It creates a dynamic where he feels compelled to pursue you with genuine effort, knowing that your presence in his life is something meaningful. Pacing is about mutual respect for yourself and the connection you're building. It ensures that both of you are showing up fully without rushing or forcing the process. It allows the relationship to evolve naturally, creating a foundation that's not only exciting, but deeply fulfilling. This balance, this pacing is what keeps them coming back, eager to know more and experience more of the unique person that you are. When he contacts you, one of the most pivotal moments comes in how you handle his compliments. Compliments, when given, can reveal his effort to connect, to impress, or even to convey genuine appreciation. But here's the mistake many make. They either dismiss the compliment entirely or overly lean into it, losing a sense of balance. The way you respond to a compliment can subtly yet powerfully shape his perception of you and the relationship. Imagine he says something like, "You look stunning today," or "You're so intelligent, it's inspiring." How do you react? If your immediate response is to deflect with something like, "Oh, no, I don't really think so," or to downplay with a casual laugh, you risk diluting the significance of his words. This isn't just about the compliment, it's about the underlying effort he's made to notice and share something about you. Dismissing it, it might make him feel that his effort isn't valued, or worse, that you don't value yourself. On the other hand, overly indulging in the compliment by becoming overly enthusiastic can come across as seeking validation. If your reaction suggests that his opinion is the sole determinant of your worth, it creates a dynamic where you place him on a pedestal, which may ultimately undermine your sense of self in the relationship. The key lies in mastering a confident and gracious response. When he compliments you, accept it with sincerity and warmth, but don't let it define you. For example, simple "Thank you, I appreciate that" can go a long way. Share with eye contact and a genuine smile. This response communicates confidence. It shows that you recognize your own value while also appreciating his effort. You're neither dismissing his words nor becoming overly reliant on them. Acknowledging a compliment doesn't mean you owe him anything in return. You don't have to scramble to return a compliment just because he gave you one. Sometimes allowing the moment to be about his words and letting it rest there creates a sense of balance. It keeps the interaction natural and authentic rather than feeling transactional. Moreover, how you handle compliments reflects how comfortable you are in your own skin. A confident person knows how to accept praise without letting it alter their sense of self-worth. This self-assuredness is incredibly attractive. It signals that while his words are appreciated, they don't define you. It shows him that you're secure in who you are, and that security creates a magnetic pull. Another subtle layer to this is to occasionally redirect the energy of the compliment. For instance, if he admires your intelligence, you might respond with, "I love that you noticed that about me. It means a lot." This approach validates his words while also subtly reinforcing the connection. It's not about fishing for more. It's about deepening the bond through mutual recognition. When you learn to handle compliments with grace and authenticity, you create an environment where he feels appreciated and encouraged to continue expressing himself. He'll feel a greater sense of connection, knowing his efforts are seen and valued. At the same time, your ability to maintain your own composure and sense of self ensures that the dynamic stays balanced, strong, and deeply rooted in mutual respect. This balance lays the groundwork for a relationship that's rich, fulfilling, and enduring. When a man contacts you, one of the most critical dynamics to navigate is resisting the urge to make everything about him. This is a subtle yet impactful mistake that can easily go unnoticed, but over time, it shifts the balance in the relationship in ways that may not serve you. It's natural to want to engage fully, to prioritize his needs, or to show him how invested you are. But there's a fine line between genuine care and losing sight of yourself in the process. Here's the thing: when you make every conversation or interaction about him, his work, his goals, his challenges, you inadvertently send the message that your world revolves around him. At first, it might feel like you're being attentive or supportive, but over time, it can create an unbalanced dynamic where your needs and individuality take a back seat. And here's the truth: a man is far more drawn to someone who maintains their own identity, interests, and passions. He values a partner who can enrich his life, not someone who disappears into it. Imagine this scenario: he calls to share something about his day, and you naturally dive into asking follow-up questions, offering advice, or focusing entirely on his experiences. While this shows that you're engaged, it's equally important to bring your own life thoughts and experiences into the conversation. Don't let it become a one-sided exchange where his story takes center stage every time. Balance the dynamic by sharing a part of yourself too. If he tells you about a challenging project at work, you could acknowledge it, empathize, and then naturally segue into something meaningful from your own day. For example, "That sounds like a lot to manage. I admire how you're handling it. It reminds me of something I worked on today that really pushed me out of my comfort zone." This approach creates a flow where the conversation becomes a mutual exchange rather than one person constantly giving and the other receiving. This isn't about withholding attention or playing games. It's about showing that your world is just as full and meaningful as his. Men are drawn to partners who have their own passions, drive, and sense of purpose. When you demonstrate that you're engaged in your own growth and journey, it naturally triggers his respect and admiration. He'll see you as someone who enhances his life while also inspiring him to be better. Another layer to this is ensuring that the connection remains reciprocal. If you notice that he rarely asks about your day or takes the time to dive into your experiences, it's important to address this gently but firmly. A healthy connection thrives on mutual curiosity and support, and if it feels one-sided, don't be afraid to point it out with grace. For instance, you might say, "I love hearing about your day. It always gives me insight into what matters to you. I'd love to share some things about mine too." Maintaining this balance also means being mindful of over-accommodating his preferences or schedule. If you're always the one adjusting your plans or availability to fit into his, it subtly sets a precedent where his needs take priority. Instead, make space for your own routines and commitments. Let him see that your time is valuable and that being with you is a privilege, not an expectation. This subtle shift in energy can be incredibly empowering and attractive. When you cultivate a dynamic where both your lives are celebrated equally, it creates a partnership built on mutual respect and admiration. He'll feel the pull of someone who values herself enough to demand balance and equality in the relationship, and that energy will draw him closer. So don't be afraid to take up space, to share your story, and to let him see the fullness of who you are. That's what keeps the connection alive, thriving, and deeply fulfilling. When a man contacts you, it's essential to understand the power of emotional pacing. What does this mean? It's about taking control of the rhythm of your interactions, ensuring that you don't rush ahead or let things escalate too quickly. Emotional pacing is not about holding back out of fear, but about setting the tone that fosters genuine connection and mutual respect. When he reaches out, there's often a temptation to respond instantly, eagerly, or even overly enthusiastically. While this might seem natural, it can sometimes give the impression that you're too available, overly invested. And while being open and warm is essential, creating a sense of anticipation and intrigue can work wonders in deepening his interest. Imagine you're crafting a dance, each step carefully aligned to create harmony. Just rushing ahead or skipping steps disrupts the flow. Emotional pacing is that dance. Here's the key: slow down and be intentional with how you engage. If he sends you a message, don't feel obligated to respond the second it arrives. Instead, take a moment to read, reflect, and respond thoughtfully. This doesn't mean playing games or pretending to be busy. It's about maintaining a natural rhythm that reflects your self-assurance and busy, fulfilling life. When you take your time, it sends a subtle yet powerful message. I value our interaction, but I also value my time. Similarly, avoid overloading him with your emotions or thoughts in a single conversation. If he initiates contact, let the interaction unfold naturally. Don't feel pressured to dive deep into serious topics or overwhelm the moment with too much information. Instead, keep the exchange light, engaging, and focused on building connection. Allow space for curiosity to grow. The less predictable your responses, the more intrigued he'll become. This also applies to making plans or decisions about when to meet or talk. Avoid immediately bending your schedule to accommodate his. Instead, take a moment to consider what works best for you. For example, if he asks to meet, respond confidently with something like, "I'd love to see you. Let me check my schedule and get back to you." This small pause not only reinforces your sense of independence, but also piques his curiosity about your life outside of him. When you pace the emotional connection, you create an environment where both of you can fully appreciate the journey. He'll feel the excitement of earning your attention and the depth of engaging with someone who values herself and her time. And in turn, you'll find that the relationship develops with a balanced energy, one that's not rushed but carefully nurtured. Ultimately, emotional pacing isn't about manipulation. It's about ensuring that the connection unfolds naturally and with mutual respect. It's about showing that you're confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. That confidence is magnetic, and it inspires him to invest more effort into building something meaningful with you. By creating that balance, you not only trigger his deeper emotions, but also strengthen the foundation for a relationship that's truly fulfilling. When a man contacts you, one of the most impactful things you can do is maintain an air of calm, unshakable confidence. Confidence isn't just about how you look or what you say, it's the energy you bring into every interaction. It's the quiet assurance that you are enough, that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, and that your value is non-negotiable. This kind of energy is not only attractive, but also deeply grounding. When he reaches out, it's important to remember that the conversation is a two-way street. It's not about eagerly trying to keep him entertained or holding on to his attention at all costs. Instead, focus on being present and authentic in your responses. Confidence shines when you're unapologetically yourself and you engage in a way that reflects your true personality. Speak clearly, share your thoughts without overthinking how they'll be received, and trust that your authenticity is more than enough to hold his interest. At the same time, confidence means not overreacting to his actions or lack thereof. If his message feels distant or his tone seems off, resist the urge to analyze or jump to conclusions. Sometimes men test the waters to see how grounded you are in yourself. By staying calm and responding with a composed tone, you subtly show that you're not easily rattled. For example, if he sends a message that seems curt or unenthusiastic, you might simply respond, "I hope everything's going well with you," and leave it at that. This approach creates an air of self-assurance that invites respect. Another element of confidence is knowing how to carry a conversation without feeling the need to fill every silence. Comfortable silences can be incredibly powerful because they create space for curiosity. If you're constantly trying to steer the dialogue or overcompensate, it can feel as though you're chasing his attention. Instead, allow pauses to exist naturally. This gives him room to step up and contribute, making the exchange more balanced and meaningful. Confidence also extends to your boundaries. If he asks something of you that doesn't align with your values or schedule, don't hesitate to say no. For example, if he proposes meeting at the last minute and it doesn't work for you, let him know with poise. "I'd love to see you, but I already have plans. Let's schedule something soon." This type of response not only reinforces your self-respect, but also encourages him to approach you with greater intention. Perhaps the most important aspect of confidence is how it reflects your inner self-worth. When you're confident, you naturally inspire trust and admiration. He will sense that you're not just waiting for his validation because you already know your worth. This realization often triggers a deeper level of interest and respect. Confidence is magnetic. It's an invitation for him to rise to the occasion and meet you at your level. So when a man reaches out to you, let your confidence guide every interaction. Let it shape your responses, define your boundaries, and influence how you carry yourself. By doing so, you not only command his respect, but also nurture a connection that's rooted in mutual admiration and understanding. Confidence isn't just about making him miss you, it's about ensuring that when he does, it's because he's drawn to the real you. When a man contacts you, one of the most powerful moves you can make is to allow yourself to remain mysterious. Mystery is not about playing games or withholding who you are. It's about understanding that not every aspect of yourself needs to be immediately revealed. It's the art of leaving room for curiosity, for him to wonder, and for the relationship to unfold naturally. When you respond to his messages or calls, resist the temptation to overshare every detail of your day or life. Share enough to connect, but not so much that you leave nothing for him to ask about later. For example, if he asks, "What have you been up to?" a simple, intriguing response like, "I had a pretty interesting day, it's been full of surprises," leaves the door open for him to dig deeper. It's not about withholding, but about creating space for him to invest more effort into getting to know you. Mastery is also about pacing. You don't need to reply to him the moment his message comes in. If you're busy or focused on something important, allow yourself to prioritize that. Taking time to respond naturally rather than dropping everything to answer right away shows that your life is full and vibrant. It subtly signals that while you appreciate his contact, you're not sitting idly waiting for it. This doesn't just add intrigue, it builds respect. Moreover, being mysterious means allowing your actions to speak louder than your words. When you're confident and secure in yourself, You don't need to explain your every move or intention. If you're going out with friends or pursuing a passion, you don't need to make a point of broadcasting it. A casual mention like "I've got plans tonight, but I'd love to catch up later this week" says everything it needs to without oversharing. This leaves him curious about your life and eager to know more. Mystery isn't just about what you hold back, it's about how you reveal yourself in layers. Think of it as letting someone read your story one chapter at a time rather than handing them the entire book all at once. This makes the process of getting to know you exciting and engaging. It allows him to experience the thrill of discovery, which deepens his emotional connection to you. At its core, mystery is about embracing your own individuality. It's about showing that you have a life, passions, and goals that extend beyond the relationship. This independence doesn't push him away, it pulls him closer because he sees that you're a whole person, not someone who needs to be completed by him. It's this balance of openness and reservation that keeps him intrigued and wanting more. By cultivating a sense of mystery, you create an emotional dynamic that's magnetic. He'll find himself drawn to you, wanting to uncover more about who you are, and appreciating the journey of discovering you bit by bit. And when that happens, you'll find that the connection you're building isn't just strong, it's built on genuine interest and admiration. When a man contacts you, one crucial element is to avoid showing desperation. It's important to maintain a sense of calm and self-assurance, no matter how much you may want to dive in immediately. When he reaches out, it's tempting to rush into long conversations or eagerly await his next move, but this eagerness can often signal neediness, which is never attractive. Desperation, in any form, conveys that you're emotionally dependent on his attention for validation. This doesn't just create an imbalance in the dynamic, it also subtly sends the message that you are not whole or fulfilled without him. The key to avoiding this is recognizing your worth, your value doesn't come from his attention, but from who you are as an individual. To avoid appearing desperate, take your time when responding to his messages. Instead of replying within minutes, give yourself the space to process his message and respond thoughtfully. This shows that you're not sitting by the phone waiting for him to contact you. It reflects that you have a fulfilling life with your own activities, responsibilities, and passions. Don't feel the need to constantly check up on him or ask for reassurance. The more you express your need for constant attention, the more likely you'll begin to pull away or feel overwhelmed. Instead, focus on building your own sense of contentment, developing your interests, and investing in other aspects of your life. By doing this, you create a balanced dynamic where he feels appreciated without the pressure of meeting every need you have. It's also crucial to avoid over-apologizing or being overly accommodating just to please him. This can often be seen as a sign of insecurity, and over time, it can erode the foundation of a healthy relationship. Instead, show that you're confident in your choices and don't feel the need to explain or justify yourself to him. It's okay to have your own opinions, your own space, and to set boundaries. When he reaches out, it's important to engage with him without giving away all your emotional energy in one conversation. Let him feel that there's more to discover and that your life isn't solely focused on him. This sense of self-control and confidence not only makes you more appealing, but also ensures that the relationship develops at a healthy, natural pace. By avoiding desperation, you allow the relationship to build on respect, mutual understanding, and genuine interests. It also ensures that you're never compromising your own emotional well-being or self-respect in order to keep his attention. As a result, the attraction between you grows stronger and more sustainable, rooted in healthy, balanced dynamics. When you maintain your composure and avoid desperate behavior, you not only protect your own emotional space, but you also make the relationship feel more fulfilling and real. This subtle approach ensures that when he contacts you, it's because he genuinely values you, not because you're constantly seeking validation. It's this balance that fosters long-term attraction and creates a deeper, more meaningful connection.